Transactional analysis is a really simple way to understand how people behave. Every interaction you have is effectively a transaction. It's a stimulus out and a response back. Those transactions are all coming from three ego states: parent, adult, or child. Transactional analysis helps us to identify which ego state that we're in at that moment in time, which ego state is the other person in, what is the most optimum, and how you get in there. Let's break each of those three down now. So we've got parent. So the parent is the voice of authority. They tend to be either instructive or they're corrective. They can be judging or they can be protective. Now there's two types of parents. You've got the critical parents, so they're more controlling, more firm. You've got the nurturing parent. Now the nurturing parent is those that are supportive or reassuring. Okay, so the second one is adult ego state. This is where you're rational, calm, you're fact-based, you'll be objective. And it's also the goal for where you want to achieve in terms of the ego states when you're having all your professional conversations. The third ego state is child. Now the child will be someone who is emotional, or they could be reactive, or they could be defensive, they could be playful. And this will show up as either overly apologetic or people pleasers, or they could just be showing frustration. Now, there's, like the parents, where we had two types of parent state, well, we've got two types of child state. So we can have either the adapted child. So the adapted child could be submissive or they could be anxious. And then you've got the free or rebellious child. They're going to be playful or they could be challenging. Most conflict isn't about the content, it's about the ego state mismatch. So if you get a leader who takes on a critical parent ego state, then you'll find that the recipient will go into an adapted child state. If you get two people in a conversation both trying to take a parent ego state, well, then you're going to end up with a power struggle. So the great thing about transactional analysis is it shows you that all of your communication breakdowns are all predictable and not random. So how do I use transactional analysis, or the framework, in my real life conversations? First thing to do is work out, where am I myself right now? Am I in the parent state, the adult state, or the child state? And then I need to think about, where's the other person I'm talking to right now? I can do that by listening to their tone of voice, looking at their posture, what's their language, what's the pace of conversation that they're having. And if I'm not there already, then I want to try and switch myself into an adult ego state. Because if you can have an adult to adult conversation, well, then you're going to have the best outcome possible, because that's where it builds clarity and trust from. Why does transactional analysis matter for both leadership and for teams? On a selfish basis, it helps me to regulate my own actions because I'm a lot more self-aware, build trust, I can resolve conflict quicker, I can influence others, I can speed up decision making. All of those things are really important to both leaders and teams to get the best outcomes as quickly as possible. In this short lesson, I show you how behavioural intelligence and the transactional analysis framework can help you lead with more influence, clarity, and calm.